So welcome back, Peyton. And so you're just doing a little maintenance, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Peyton looks like this because she's got great DNA and also she maintains this. So she's in every few months to keep looking good. So what were your areas that you were thinking about doing today?
These creases here, and then maybe a little bit of volume on my cheeks to touch it up, and then some Dysport as well.
Okay, great. And so Peyton is smooth and young and just perfection, right? But go ahead. She has a little bit of pucker here, so we're going to smooth out her chin a little bit. I think this is an area that we can really have some nice improvement. It just softens the face a little bit. And then do your bunnies for me, please. Scrunch up. So I like to get rid of those because when people smile, sometimes it distracts because we have these lines that move around your nose. And then, of course, we want a little brow lift here, so we're going to put a little bit in the tail and scrunch down. She has just a little bit of movement there and raise up high. So we'll do a little bit up there. So this is going to be great. We're using a new filler called Contour. They named it after us. Isn't that fun? So I don't know if it's a coincidence or if they were inspired by us. What do you guys think? Peyton, do you think it was us or do you think it was? It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Okay. So we're going to get started. This one I really love. I love Contour because it's a thicker particle. It's great for the cheeks. And what it does is it integrates into the tissue. So it stays in place and it just looks really natural. So I'm really a huge fan. When I have to use the older products like Juvederm, I get a little bit sad, even though the Juvederm brand has some great products. It's, you know, the old products are just so inferior to these new ones. So we're going to get started. And we may see a little bit more bruising and swelling than usual. But look at how beautiful her cheekbone is here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to build up this little fat pocket right here because I love everything about her. Her looks and her structure and her personality. So Peyton moved to San Diego. How's it going down there?
It's
Are you
amazing.
liking it?
I love it.
What's your favorite beach down there?
I like La Jolla.
Do you like the shores or do you like where the...
I like the cliffs.
Can I get the cliffs? Is that where the seals are?
Yeah, there's a bunch of seals up there.
Okay, I hit a little blood vessel.
It's okay.
So the cliffs, you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite restaurant over there?
Not really. I kind of like Brigadine.
Brigadine?
Have you been there?
I haven't been there. I'll have to try it out. I just went to Little Italy for the first time last weekend. Okay, so now with a cheek, what we want to do is open your eyes for a second, please, Peyton. We want it to be at the lateral side of the pigment of the eye and lateral to the ala, which is this arc on the nose. Okay, you can see we don't need a lot in Peyton because she's so young and beautiful. We just want to kind of round that out. Now I got a little bit of bleeding, which is normal. Now some people are huge fans of the cannulas. And I just read a study that said you can get as good of a result with a cannula as you can with doing the needle. Now, I like the needle because you can see I'm going into multiple areas when I'm injecting, whereas with a cannula, you can only do lines. And so I still haven't transitioned to doing cannulas. But the one nice thing is, Debbie, come on over here, please, is that you do only have one injection point. Go ahead and hold that. And you do have less bruising. But I don't think it's worth the sacrifice of not getting the product exactly where you want it. Okay, now we're going to go on this side to sort of to balance it out. Now her cheek on this side is actually fuller than the other side, which is normal. Everybody has a little bit of asymmetry. Now symmetry is considered one of the signs of beauty. Peyton has beautiful symmetry, but we're always just a little bit different. And again, I'm trying to be very mindful of where I want that prominence. We want it right in this area here. And a lot of filler injectors will go too high, and so it creates a very unnatural look. I call it the pillow face if you get the filler too high up on the cheek. And I think now that fillers are getting more advanced, injectors are getting more advanced, and so there's less and less of that look. And she's got just a little bit of her. And she doesn't really have much of a step off between her cheek and her nasolabial fold here, so I don't think we're going to have to do a lot of filler there. Now, how does your boyfriend feel about you getting these injections?
He's fine with it. I finally
You talked him into it?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm going to get more as I get older, so you might as well get used to it.
Okay. You can see she's bleeding a little bit. Do you do any blood thinners at all?
No, I'm anemic, though. I don't know if that has anything to do
Is it not enough protein or what's going on? Do you know?
I don't know. Is that a factor?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, so we did that. So a little bit of bleeding right there. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to start injecting the Dysport. Okay, and I always like to do a little bit in the chin to smooth it out a little bit. I think what I was thinking is iron. If you're getting enough like iron in your diet for anemia.
I don't think so. Probably should be more.
One question to talk is, why does a beautiful woman need this?
Okay, so tell us, Peyton, why you do it.
It's preventative maintenance. That's what I always say when people ask me.
Sure. And the other thing about this is Peyton's gorgeous naturally, but we can do just a little bit of fine tuning. So, you know, she's got these beautiful high cheekbones, but we exaggerate that just a little bit. So we want to keep it looking natural, but we want to give it that little bit of pop. And also Peyton is a big fan of doing lip fillers. And you can see we do that delicate balance between giving her that pop, but also maintaining a natural look. Because I like her to have that really beautiful look without looking over exaggerated or overfilled. So and here we go, scrunch down. And you are correct, Peyton is gorgeous.
Thank you.
Here we go. And now we're going to do those little bunny lines. Go ahead and scrunch up, please. Perfect. Okay, now raise your eyebrows up as high as you can. And we can also keep her looking smooth and refreshed without looking over frozen. And I do that by putting the Botox a little bit higher. Now, the last thing I want to do is I want to do a little contouring of your nose. Is that okay with you, Peyton?
Sure.
Because your nose is great, but you have just a little bit of a dent. And so I want to try to fine tune that. I always call this the Hollywood effect for a nose. We just put in tiny little drops. And then you've got a little bit of a dent right here. Did you have a rhinoplasty? No, no nose work?
Nope.
If you lived in LA, you'd be the only person without one.
I know, I've seen a lot of them.
So again, we're just going to fine tune that just a little bit. And I think we're going to just save the rest. I just want to give a little bit more pop in the cheek here. Where I have a little bit of bleeding. Peyton's having a little bit more bleeding than most people, but
that's like my thing. Normal thing.
But it's nice for people to see that they can bleed, because some people get shocked that they have a little bit of bruising when they get a treatment like this done, but it is normal. And you can see it stops pretty quickly. Okay, so now let's just clean you up a little bit. And she's used to that. See, we lifted the cheeks up and back, and then we filled this out just a little bit here. We did the same thing over here. This side, you can see a better example of how it's going to look. And then we just filled in a little bit here. Now, we don't want to eliminate all the contours in the face, so we want to keep a little bit of an indentation right there. And then we also smoothed out your nose a little bit now. Because you have the bruising, it's a little bit hard to tell. So bruising is going to last for 10 to 14 days. After this, you can just live your life, Peyton. I always let people know if your Botox isn't perfect in 1 week, the way you tell is scrunch down, raise up high. If there's any asymmetry or extra wrinkles that you don't like, always check back with the injector, because they can always fine tune that a little bit. So Peyton, always a pleasure. Great to see you. Thanks for coming in. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for sharing a moment of your morning with us. And we appreciate you following us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.